All right, good morning, everyone. It is 8:46 in the morning of December the 16th, 2021, and this is my pre-market strategy session. So, first thing that I have up this morning is CALT. CALT just got some pretty decent news. It has had an FDA approval for, CALT receives FDA approval for Tarpeo for primary IgA nephropathy. Shares catapult in pre-market trading. What is primary IgA nephropathy? Right, it's a kidney thing. So let's look it up here. Let's make that bigger. IgA nephropathy, also known as Buerger's disease, is a kidney disease that occurs when IgA deposits build up in the kidneys, causing inflammation that damages kidney tissues. IgA is an antibody, a protein made from the immune system to protect the body from foreign substances such as bacteria or viruses. So this company just received, the name of the company is CALT Therapeutics. AB, right? And so as of right now, its shares are up 41% pre-market. And I imagine there's probably going to be, this is interesting, look at this, a bit of a coincidence here. Here we are, the pre-market price right here at $26.25 is right here at the bottom, really close at least. Let's see. Yeah, really close to the bottom of this gap. So I imagine that there's probably going to be, if it makes it this far today, $32 will be a point of resistance. Very interesting. And actually that $32.11 coincides with this peak over here at $32.07. So that's an interesting little thing here. Let's see what year this is. This is from late 2020, so just a little bit over a year ago. Okay, interesting. Yeah, we'll see what happens with this one today. It is considered a small cap. It only has 14 million shares. Well, actually, okay, so it has 26 million shares outstanding, and its float is 15 million shares. So, an FDA approval is big news for any company. Exactly what happens with this one today, well, it's really hard to tell how these things are going to play out exactly. I mean, last night it went up to a high of $34.41, which is a bit north of that $32.11. You can see here, actually, it came back in yesterday's post-market here. You can see here that it did come back and fail at that 32 at one point. It was up above 32.11 and then just couldn't hold above 32.11 there. So interesting. That's an observation. Don't know how relevant it'll be for trading today, but it's an awareness. Okay. According to the high from yesterday's post market to the close of yesterday's post market, I imagine the news came out. It must have come out it came out pre-market. That's interesting. December 15th. Oh, no, okay, here it goes, yeah. At 5:18 on December 15th, it received the approval. It received notification of the approval. Okay, so popped up post-market yesterday, hit that 32.11, pulled back, and then this morning in pre-market, it opened up at $27.07. It looks like it's been kind of fighting to get back above this 50% Fibonacci right here. So I'm going to trade it on the 1 minute, and I'm looking for 1 minute setups. I imagine that this thing will probably have a pretty good day today after some profit taking. So where this thing falls as far as profit taking goes, I don't know. It could do a gap and go. It could open up and just run and keep going higher for the first 30 minutes, whatever, or it could drop off from profit taking and then some buyers come in somewhere in, a support level around in here somewhere. Perhaps it's hard to say exactly, but FDA approvals are a big deal. So it's going to give a trade setup, and exactly where that setup is, it remains to be seen. Okay, let's see, MRK. So MRK here, I am along 10 contracts on MRK. Strike is $80 a share, and expiration is the 21st of January. And so, this bottoming pattern here with the bullish overall market, the SPY being pretty bullish, it leads me to believe that I think MRK will probably catch a bid here and try and make its way to this gap right here that was formed. Let's see, bottom of the gap right here, $80.62. And I imagine it can probably do that in a matter of, let's see, it dropped down here in a matter of, let's say, let's count it from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 3 weeks. And it tumbled down, and so now here we are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Another 3 weeks have passed. Another 15 trading days. 3 weeks have passed. So let's see what happens here. Maybe we'll get lucky. Essentially, really. This is basically I'm looking at this. It's coming out of oversold. Odds are that it's going to keep going higher. If it doesn't, then I cut my losses before it reaches 1% loss on the trade. I've got, for those 10 contracts, it only cost me $696. So if I get below, pardon me, if I catch a loss that is greater than $69, then I dump it. I dump the, if it goes against me by $69, we'll call it $70. Then I dump the trade, and I'll pick another entry, That's the way it works. You got to cut your losses fast, let your, let your winners run. So, okay. Roblox here. So Roblox, this is not a nice looking chart right here. And it's too bad because apparently this company has a lot going for it. Let's check out see what its earnings are like here, what its revenues. So it's doing 923 million in revenues, 253 negative 253 net income with so that's a profit margin of negative 27.41% for the year of 2020. But you can see those revenues. I mean, look, 2018 revenues were 324 million. 2019 revenues were 508 million. I mean, that's double. That's nearly a double into each year, and then 923 million for 2020. I mean, 324 to 508, that's 40%, and then 508 to 923, that's 80% roughly. So I mean, those are huge increases in revenues. So interesting. Quarter over quarter growth there on revenues is pretty good. And it looks like it's starting to turn the corner in earnings. Today, just this chart, what this chart is telling me though today is that a bump up against 103.84, this 103.84 area is going to be bearish for it. It's going to, this is, what was once resistance is now support. And what was once support is now resistance. This 103.84, if it makes it up that high today, then I will be looking to average into a short position somewhere around 104. And it's only for a scalp. The market's getting pretty bullish. The market is starting to kind of understand some things that one, the GDP is growing. This inflation is inflation, but the Fed really can't step out in front of inflation with higher rates because it'll bust the U.S. government. If the Fed came out tomorrow and said we're raising rates to 3%, or if they do that at any point, I mean, really, it's really going to just break the system. So rates can only go but so high, and if rates can only go so high, and inflation, has its way, then it inflates prices of everything, and it's going to inflate the prices of stocks too. So I don't want to be short. I just know right here there's going to be an opportunity to take some profits on this resistance area right here. Highly likely, I should say. It could blast right through. It could. I doubt it, but it could. So we'll see what happens. Risk management. Cut the losses before they get out of hand. I always cut losses. I have a certain risk management system that I stick to. Okay, plug. Plug is actually another one here this morning. It is, if it opened up right now, it opened up at 32.68. This $34.83 area right in here is an important support and resistance area. So if it can make it all the way up there today, there's an opportunity for a scalp. It won't, and it's going to be a short. So I'm not looking to enter this and hold the short position for a long time until it tanks to zero or something like that. That's not going to happen. It's only an intraday, real quick scalp on the short side. I imagine that this thing, both Roblox and Plug, probably have really quite bright futures in them. Not at the moment. Right now, things are looking a little bit sketchy for the two of them. So today's going to be bullish on the market in general, but these two right here will give the setups. Whether they work out or not, the probability is that they will. There always is the probability that it won't. Okay, ESSC, this is just one that I have on watch. I don't have a plan for it unless it breaks up over $16.85. If it can break over $16.85, I have an alarm on it, and hold and move on, then there's a trade there. For right now, though, it's just, it's not something, it's there in case nothing else is going on for the rest of the, if I can't find a trade on anything and then this just happens to work kind of thing, not really paying too much attention to it. GRTX, this is one that I'm keeping an eye on for the move here. So GRTX got some pretty good news. Let's see, this is the 14th of December, and it was given some, where is it? There it is. Galera Therapeutics, it corrected a data error. There was I don't know. I mean, I wonder, if investors, would it shake your confidence in a therapeutics company that they couldn't crunch their data properly, and it caused their stock. You can see here, it was either, after hours on the 18th or pre-market on the 19th, the news came out that they didn't meet their endpoint goals for the study to get FDA approval. But now down here, suddenly they found out, oh yeah, we did meet our endpoint goals, and it has caught a bid. And now look at this, the 14th of December, this thing traded 280 million shares on the 14th. And then yesterday, it traded another 98 million shares. This is an incredible volume of trading on a stock, and on both of these days here, let's get this out of the way. Here on the 14th, it traded a whole dollars range, $1 range on 280 million shares traded. That is just, I have no explanation. I mean, if something's trading 280 million shares, even if it's the S&P or, I mean, I don't know anything that trades that kind of volume and only moves $1 range. It's rigged. So basically what I'm waiting for is it seems to me that low or small cap momentum trades are just getting the noise generator put on them. I'm a former satellite communications soldier. Did 4 years overseas between Iraq and Afghanistan. And I did some jamming work from time to time. And basically what it is you put noise on the carrier and no data can get through. So this is just somebody's jamming the signal right here. Somebody's just jamming the price action on this thing big time. And they did it the second day. Now, what happens is, in CPIX as an example, there are quite a few examples I can pull up, is that after a few days of gigantic volume, it settles down, and then people can come in and trade it on, a lower volume day. So, for example, here on CPIX on the 30th of November, it traded over 200 million shares. It only had a range from 548 to 413. I mean, $1.20 range on 200 million shares traded, right? Well, then it spent a few days just kind of wallowing around, and then the fourth day, 4 days later, boom, it's running up. Let's see, was it BFRI? I ought to write all of these down. Here's another one. The 24th of November, 226 million shares, right? And then the next day, and actually this one, 480 to 726, at least had a $3 range. I mean, $3 range on 226 million shares traded is still really low. When something trades, in my experience, and now this is how things have changed on the market. In my experience, 3 years ago, when something traded 200 plus million, if there was a stock that traded 200 plus million shares on the day, it was moving in increments of $10. Like you'd expect to see, like, oh yeah, there's a $30 move that day or a $40 move. So the noise generator, the jamming signals, I don't know what's going on. I think there have been a lot of people who've gotten their faces ripped off with small cap momentum. And this is just me, I don't know for sure, but I think a lot of people have lost a lot of money trying to trade these things that don't know how to trade it, who end up being hodlers. So they buy at the top and then just watch it go all the way back down from $10, for example, here. And eventually it will close the gap and go all the way back down to like $2, So I think Wall Street, and I say Wall Street, but I don't know, exactly who, has decided that they're going to interrupt the small cap trade for the sake of the rookies, I guess. It's part of the school of hard knocks to me. I would just let it ride, but I guess there are some people who are afraid of some kind of legislation being passed or something. Who knows? Wall Street does take pride usually in being self-corrective. Certainly the commodity exchanges, the Chicago Board of Exchange and the COMEX, those guys in their clearinghouses, they really keep a tight rein on their trading and making sure they stay self-regulated, because once government starts getting into things, it'll just screw things all up. So I imagine there's some sort of there's a bit of self-regulation happening in here with with Wall Street or the exchanges or something, so that the types like the ultra liberal jackasses who've never created a job in their life, like Elizabeth Warren or AOC, just they get all wrapped around the axle about an unfair system or something, and they just go in and screw things up. So, all right, that's my rant for this morning. Let's look at the SPY. So if the SPY opened up right now, it opened up 0.43% higher than its previous close. It's hanging around. It's just beneath the all-time highs, which I imagine there's probably going to be like a little pullback this morning. Kind of, I don't know, there are bound to have been some people who holding long positions overnight, and they'll want to take a little bit of profit this morning or something like that. And then this thing looks to me like today is probably going to be the day where it breaks through this all-time high. This is an intraday all-time high. So, it's an intraday high, I should say. And so it's looking like today is going to be the day that it pops on through. I could be wrong, but I mean, geez, look at this, 461 to a close of a low of 460 yesterday, and it closed at 470. That's looking really bullish. And if it doesn't happen today, if a new closing high doesn't happen today, it's happening soon. All right, the VIX is getting a beat down. I love to see that. These are my levels on the VIX. I'm gonna Actually, I'm going to delete these right here. You know what? Let me put on well, I'll do it later. There's going to be a new risk range on this, but essentially for me, what I'm looking for is for the VIX to break down below the bottom of the gap here at 18.21, then make it and then creep its way down. Probably into January, it'll creep its way down and hold below this this red support line right here. So it looks to me, 3 strikes are out. So here, 1 strike, 2 strikes, then 3 strikes, and the VIX goes on a run. Same thing here. One strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes, VIX goes on a run. So as soon as it can hold below this level and close below and stay below it, the next spikes in the VIX will probably occur like 3 to 6 months after holding that, and the spike won't be anywhere near as bad. At that point, though, there might be a risk of a trending VIX, where the second quarter of 2022 is looking a little bit bearish, and the Fed is going to tighten right into slowing GDP. So, all right. Bitcoin here, I've got, every 3 months, roughly 12 weeks, whatever it is, I don't remember. I've been putting these lines on Bitcoin, and they just kind of are demarcations for changes. It seems to be that at these lines, there's a change in the sort of the strategy on Bitcoin. So today's the last day of whatever this period was, and it's actually really interesting here. As you can see, this is where the period. This is where the period opened. Let's call it right here at 4773, and here we are. It's been kind of a flat 3 months. I mean, essentially, if you bought Bitcoin on September the 17th, you are basically flat on it here on the 15th of December. So we'll see what we're coming into next. Looks like we're coming into a new sort of regime here on Bitcoin. I think I'm neutral on it, and in between 53,000 and 42,000, I'm neutral on Bitcoin. It could be a period of consolidation for the next move up, or who knows? It could be the next period of consolidation for the next move down. I don't know. But I am in SINW. I averaged into a position in SINW for just above like $3.01 or something as it was coming down through here. Oops. It was coming down through here. And now I'm just going to kind of hang on to it. It's at 375, so all right. And then the INVU, now this is one that is a Bitcoin play and a sort of an investment play. InvestView is basically has figured out a way to get people in on the ground floor for funding of IPOs or SPACs, and also business ventures and stuff. So it's interesting. It's been doing a pretty good job of hitting some revenue numbers. A little bit on the low side. Probably somewhere around. They'll probably finish the year somewhere around 35 million in revenues. It's not a hell of a lot. But it is growing. So we'll see how it does. All right. That is my morning strategy session, everybody. Good luck out there. Keep your risk tight. Click like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, tap the bell, and I will see you at the recap. I am out.